Hello, you're watching the Socratic Forum, and I'm Rene Descartes.
I am Albert Camus.
And I'm Ayn Rand.
And today we'll be discussing the hot topic of abortion, food baby abortion. And let me take it over to Miss Rand to discuss the topic of what we would define as abortion.
Food baby abortion constitutes as expediting the removal of the food baby through your body, other than its natural course. And the two most common forms are laxatives, which just speeds the food baby's course through your body, and it comes out before it's ready. And the second kind is vomiting, and then you vomit the food baby up before you have a chance to let it pass through at all.
And what is a food baby? Some of us disagree on this, but we have come to a decent commonality. And let me take it over to
myself to discuss this. There are actually two schools of thought on what constitutes a food baby. The first is that as soon as a food's been ingested by your body, then a food baby has been in the process of being born. The other view is that it takes some time after you consume the food for the food baby to be fully formed. And there are actually varying views at this table. I believe that as soon as you ingest the food, a food baby has been born. Kyle,
I also believe that any amount of food that you ingest automatically becomes a food baby or adds to a pre-existing food baby.
I think these views are arbitrary, and that it doesn't matter how much you eat for it to become a food baby. I don't think that once you eat food, I'm going to jump right into my viewpoints, gentlemen. I don't think that once you eat food, even enough to constitute as what may become a food baby, that it is even worth preserving. I don't think that definition is immediately meaningful, because I think that you can't tell me that once I eat 2 sandwiches and a slice of pizza, both of which are intrinsically worthless. Once I eat these, they form in my body into something that has any right. You can't tell me that 0 plus 0 equals a meaningful being, a meaningful body, a meaningful mass of anything.
Well, here's where I disagree with you. I believe that it all starts with the divine plan. Okay. So it was within your personal choice to eat that food. After that, God has made the choice for this food baby to form inside of you.
But what makes the choice? God or ourselves?
Yeah, we make the choice. We make the choice when we eat the food.
We can make the choice for it to form or for not to form. As soon as we eat it, we can abort it. We can abort it we can think about how nasty this food was, and our body can, in some cases, form a natural response, and we can vomit out all the food that we just ate.
But why should we be making this choice? I mean, obviously, yeah, we're human beings.
Obviously, sometimes our body does make this choice. We eat food with certain kinds of bacteria in it, and this causes a reaction to even, unconscious. We don't decide. Our body does to
it's a natural reaction
abort the food baby.
Well, if it comes out naturally, that's one thing,
but that's not an abortion. That's
yeah. If it comes out naturally, that's one thing. That's
miscarriage. It's a food baby miscarriage.
It's food baby miscarriage, and I believe that God planned for that miscarriage to happen because He has some sort of greater plan. I don't believe that as human beings we have the right to be determining whether or not this thing should be coming out sooner.
I disagree firmly because I believe in autonomy.
I haven't had a chance to talk about my viewpoint.
You're right.
All right, go ahead.
Let me discuss what I think. I think that you should be able to abort your food baby anytime you're feeling discomfort. You should be able to abort it because theoretically, as we were just discussing, our body can pretty much abort it whenever it wants naturally, whether this is the plan of God or if it's not. Have you ever considered that abortion could be a plan of God? It's existed. Apparently, the food baby miscarriages existed. Who says that is not so closely tied with abortion that it could be part of His plan?
Well, let me drop a quote from the Bible real quick. In the Bible, it says that God is the way, the truth, and the light. He doesn't say that the individual, the human being.
This sounds like food baby abortion rhetoric. Rhetoric that your people have been spinning out for generations.
No. There's no... Gentlemen, calm down. I know we are all passionate about this, but we need to keep our heads about this. This is what philosophy is about, meaningful discussion. And if you're going to dispute this claim, I think it needs to be meaningful dispute. And I would like to disagree because I think God, I don't believe food babies are intrinsically valuable immediately, but certainly once they reach a point, they have some intrinsic value.
But at what point how hard is that for a judge? At what point? Because our bodies all process
Well, certainly by the time it comes
process
out,
the food
under the
babies
best
differently.
circumstances, once it is about to come out of your body, that counts as a food baby. Yes, that constitutes right
Yes,
before it
but
comes out
all
of your
these
body.
are so
Well,
loose. What
yeah.
is
Yeah,
best?
I mean,
Okay,
When does
okay,
it come out? At what
when you
stage?
eat, so eating when it first becomes a food baby and eating that's day, and it's meaningless. And when it's about to come out, it's a food baby. That's night. I can tell the difference between day and night, gentlemen.
Yes.
Maybe there's dusk in the middle, and sometimes it's a little bit fuzzy, but I can tell when it's day and I can tell when it's night.
but what about the situations when it is dusk? What do you do?
Maybe. Well, this is. I would like to add another facet to my argument. I think that barring any severe complications, once it starts to look a little darker, you have a more solid food baby. It's starting to look more like a food baby than it does food. Then certainly, I think if you're under ideal circumstances, I think you should carry it through, barring extraneous circumstances like maybe it's causing you great discomfort, maybe it's making you sick, maybe.
But again, loose ends, Miss Rand. What about how?
Well,
what
no,
do
these are
people
going to
define
differ
as
from
extreme?
person to person.
Exactly. And then how can you define any rules, any regulations? You can say if it makes you feel bad, then you can abort it. But people could say, "Oh, bad is in the beginning when I swallowed it."
But you're trying
And
to tell me
this-
that it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. I'm saying that we need to be wise about these decisions. Certainly, we shouldn't go aborting
And
food
can we
babies
just
willy-nilly.
assume that the people are going to be wise about their decisions?
This is why we have to educate them on food babies.
Well, I mean, maybe the education comes before they even digest the food in the first place. Maybe we should have, valid food education in schools.
I agree firmly.
Yeah.
With this. I think
Education that tells them that maybe you should abstain from eating this unhealthy food because later on it might lead to food
very
pregnancy.
And maybe
painful-
this
painful food
education
baby.
should also include information on how they can abort their food baby at any time they want, because it should be a right. It should be an intrinsic.
I disagree.
I
Not
just-
to minors. To minors, we should certainly be preventing food babies. But
Yeah, but we discussed this.
But we can't.
What about people who force food babies on minors? People who overfeed their
Well,
children.
certainly that's an
Certain
extraneous
cultures,
circumstance. They're
certain
minors. They
cultures.
can't be responsible for the food baby that was forced on them.
Exactly,
But-
so they should be allowed to abort
Yes,
their
I
food
agree.
baby at any time.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
regardless, even if it is forced on them, which I realize happens, and I realize it's a very unfortunate circumstance. However, out of every negative situation comes some positive situations. I mean, that situation,
I think
sometimes
that is terribly
No, that
naive.
is terribly naive as well.
Yes.
Because you know why? What about a food baby that causes death? You want them to carry it through, and the food baby could not come out, and the person who's carrying the food baby could also die. That is a lose-lose situation. And I mean, in any religion, anybody looking at this would say, this is not something that's supposed to happen.
well, regardless, I think that we can all agree to disagree.
Yes.
And
I think this is the only choice.
yeah, and all of us here at the Socrates Forum would like to thank you again for watching, and we're interested in hearing what your viewpoints are on this very controversial issue. So definitely post your responses down in the comments boxes. Send us messages, just to let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what your viewpoints is. And again, I'm Ray Descartes,
I am Albert Camus.
And I'm Ayn Rand telling you to be wise.
and this has been the Socratic Forum.